Hey, my lovely goal-getters. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I'm your host, Amie Pederson, business mentor and confidence coach for the emerging boss mom. It's my mission to help amazing women just like you up-level yourself and your business because you are meant for more than wiping boogers and folding laundry. I'm also a wife, mother, urban farmer, influencer, green juice enthusiast, and an unapologetic lover of cowboy boots. I can't wait to help you grow your business by sharing my tips, tricks, proven business strategy, experience, and incredible guests. Hang on tight and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, I have the amazing Diana Robinson with us today. She's the founder of A Confident Broad, which I love that name, by the way. And she's going to talk about something that I absolutely love talking about, which is confidence and women leading their lives and their businesses and all of the things with confidence. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Diana. Tell us a little bit about what started you on this journey? What made you decide that you needed to be, a leader and a founder, and tell me too how you came up with A Confident Broad, because I love that name.
Oh, well, first, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I just love this.
Of course.
So my journey into entrepreneurship was a little bit different than I think a lot of people. Because I originally started out with a multi-level marketing business. Mm-hmm. I was a part of Rodan & Fields, which I still absolutely love. I think any of those multi-level marketing type structures are amazing for women, especially to get your feet wet as an entrepreneur, because you have a lot of support that I think a lot of times when you are out there on your own, you have to go and search for. So I started off in that MLM with Rodan & Fields, and I hired Jamie King, the Slay Coach. She's amazing, to kind of help me take my business to the next level, because this was something I really wanted to do full time. I have a corporate job that I wanted to eventually be able to leave. I've been there 18 years. So I kind of, there's a lot of turmoil that comes with corporate life. And I kind of wanted to take that power back of how my financial future and how my personal future would look. So again, starting a new business. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So this was the first logical step. So when I hired Jamie to help me take it to the next level, I struggled, right? I struggled with finding my purpose. I struggled with finding my why. And, Jamie asked some really tough questions to get you thinking about why you're doing this. Because if you don't have a passion for what you're doing, it's never going to stay, right? Because you have the ups and downs. You have that entrepreneurial roller coaster, right? You have those huge ups that you're just on top of the world, and then boom, down in the bottom of the trenches, right? So if you don't have that absolute love of what you do, it's very hard to sustain long term. So one day her and I were talking, and I was telling her this story about confidence, right? We were talking about how one day I had to get up and, the gas station nearest to your house is always the gas station that has seen you at your worst, right? Because you just run in there to grab something. They have seen you as your absolute 100% worst. So that's what I did. I needed to run to the gas station for something. I probably had on leggings that had holes in them. I probably didn't brush my hair, like bare minimum brushed my teeth, to the store, right? I got to go run in real quick. And I remember walking out of that gas station, and all growing up, my girlfriends always tease me. I have a Charlie walk. So I have this like strut, right? My ass moves from side to side a lot. And I remember walking out with that same confident walk. And I stopped myself. I was like, how am I doing this? I'm a giant Amazonian-sized woman, right? I am not petite. I am not what society says we should look like or act like. I'm loud. I'm gregarious. And yet here I am, 39, with all of this confidence. I'm like, how in the hell is this? How is this, right? So I called my mom, because my mom is the original confident broad. She's it, right? And I'm like, how did we do that? What did you do to help this? Because in my life, I have failed more times than I have ever succeeded. But those failures for me were never showstoppers, right? It was, okay, well, that's just a step in the process. What's next? Like my whole life is always, what's next? What's next? And so I'm telling Jamie that, she's like, that's it. That's what you need to do. You need to help women discover or rediscover, rebuild, or build from scratch their confidence. Yeah. Like, you have this passion. And I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, damn, this feels right. It feels right in my soul. It lights me up. Like as I'm talking to you right now, I have the biggest grin on my face because I just feel so passionate that all women, whether you're born one or identify as one, should have this confidence, because we are collectively and individually amazing people, right? We can either create life, and if you can't create it, you cultivate it. And that's something that people, men, I'm sure, do in their own way, but not like women do. Right? We can create life and we can cultivate life. You have, moms, you have your aunties, you have your cousins, you have the whole tribe of people around you. So women just have that instinct. And I think over time, shit happens, right, in your life, and your confidence starts to, wax, and it wanes, and it comes and it goes. And then slowly over time, it feels a lot of women that I know and I've talked to, I've worked with, they just don't have it. They don't have that, yes, I am here and this is who I am and this is what I want to be. We are inundated 24 hours a day now with Facebook and TV and streaming ads and the internet and Instagram of perfection, right? What people think perfection is, and that is just bullshit. Perfection is what you view yourself as, and perfection should be your own definition, not what Instagram tells me perfection should look like. I will never be a tiny, petite, cute little Instagram model who's, flying all over the world, taking these perfect photos. Like, that's just not me. And that's never going to be me, right? So if I consistently strive for that, I'm going to be miserable, right? Instead of understanding that I am who I am, and that is amazing. And who you are is amazing. And our differences make us amazing. Like, I say amazing about 100 million times, because it's just something I feel like our differences are what makes the world go round. And it's what should be celebrated instead of hidden away. Like, let your freak flag fly, man. Like, do your thing. Be you completely. Because if you try to be anybody else, it's just a sad little knockoff, and you're not going to live to your potential. And so that's kind of where, I get fired up. Obviously, you can tell with this, that I want all women to feel the way that they can do whatever they want. They can conquer whatever they want. They don't need permission to do what they want. Just being alive makes you that powerful force. So helping people to rediscover that is what I am absolutely passionate about. And how the name came about is probably one of my favorite stories. So, like I said, I work a corporate job, and I work mostly with men. And one day we're all around talking, and I can't remember what the subject was. And they were talking about another woman on our floor, and I think they called her a chick. And they kind of looked at me. I'm like, well, I'm a chick, right? And they looked at me and they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not a chick? I'm a chick. What are you talking about? They're like, no, you're a broad. I'm like, oh, I am. That is perfect. I'm never going to be a girly girl, right? I'm never going to be a chick. I am a broad. I am loud. I am bold. I say things I shouldn't say, like all of the things that define what a broad is in the most positive manner. I know when I told my grandmother, I think you are. Like, I think it's right. And it's freeing. There's something freeing about it. Yeah. Like taking back the name. Because when I told my grandma, I'm like, I'm naming it a confident broad. Oh, honey, that's not a good name. Because there's that negative connotation. I'm like, I'm taking that. I love it. It's great. And that's what I want everybody to be. And I was very deliberate in how I named this company. I didn't want to name it The Confident Broad. I wanted to name it A Confident Broad because I'm just one, right?
Yeah.
And my goal is to build an army of confident broads. Like I'm just one of them. I'm just here to show you what I know, what I do, how I live. And then you need to take the pieces that work for you and own your own shit. Like be you. Don't be me. Don't, and that's the thing. I think people get confused a lot about confidence. They're like, oh, I could never be loud, or I could never speak in front of people, or I could never do this or that. That's not what confidence is about. Confidence is comfortable in your own skin, comfortable in your own abilities. Whether your abilities are, I like quiet, I like to be the wallflower, do it, own it, be you, be confident in being that wallflower, and don't ever apologize for being that person.
Right.
I never want to hear somebody say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just because I'm like this. No. You're like that because you're amazing, and that's how you were meant to be. And I think for me, I personally believe in God, but if you don't, that's your own bag, whatever. But if you believe in a higher being, whatever that may be, that puts you on this earth, and you apologize for who you are, you're pretty much just pissing on everything that they created. You are here, and it was a miracle that you were born, out of all the different combinations of all the different things that could have happened. You were born the way you were, right? Or the way you are, and own it. Be you. And that to me is the most beautiful, confident thing anybody could be.
Absolutely. And, and you know what I think too? Well, I think a lot of about confidence and whatever is, there might be things about you that like, okay, well, I carry around this little bit of extra baby weight or just extra weight in general, or my hair doesn't grow and style quite the way I like it to. Like, obviously we could nitpick ourselves to death, but as you convert confidence into business, I like to tell girls, here I go, broads. I like to tell everybody that, when you lead your business from that place of confidence, and it doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I made $1 million and I'm like a total badass. Right. I'm talking about finding that thing inside of you that you just can't shut up about. The thing that you sit down with your girlfriends over coffee or cocktails, and when they bring it up, you're like, oh, and you could just go on and on, unscripted about it. Like, no big deal. I got this. That's part of it. That's part of being a confident broad, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Knowing what you're passionate about and going for it. Never apologize for your business. I have heard so many different interesting ideas for, entrepreneurship that I would never in a million years, like, that can't be successful. And then I'm like, but it's successful because she is rocking it and she owns it. You see that passion, you see that belief, and you're like, I love that. I want to be a part of that. Just however, you come to the world with your business, I think, especially for startups, like right now, again, like I said, I'm in a corporate job. That's not my passion. So why am I going to put myself out there as an entrepreneur doing something else that I am not passionate about?
Right.
And I think, that's what the confidence in your business, the confidence in being an entrepreneur is the confidence to say, this is me. This is what I am doing. Get out the way. Yep. Either get on board or get out the way.
Exactly. Because so many people, they're so worried. And it's funny because you may have even seen it. I did this like thread in one of my groups, the Goal Getter group, the other day about what do you really want to say, but you're afraid it's going to piss people off. And I mean, it was all over the board. There were so many things. So obviously I could rant about this all day long. But what is one thing that you would tell people, whether they're MLM business owners, because I feel like they get kind of a bad rap.
They absolutely do. Yeah.
I think they're freaking great. So they get my full support.
Oh, absolutely.
I would much rather buy from an MLM than go to the store if you really want to know. But
yeah, I don't like going to the store. Everything needs to be delivered.
Yeah, heck yeah. What's one tip that you would give these girls so they can start getting their message out into the world without worrying about what their mother-in-law is going to think, what their coworker is going to think, or what this girl that they went to high school who they're not even really friends with in the first place, what they're going to think?
hmm My advice to them is they don't pay your bills. So their opinion should mean absolutely nothing. And also their opinion of you is none of your business because it doesn't make a difference to you. So what Sally, who you go to high school, may think about you or think about what you're doing, we also have to remember her opinion is skewed based on her life experiences. So maybe she got burned with an MLM. Maybe she has 50 people on her friends list who are trying to sell her something. Like, she may have her own deal going on, right? So if you're passionate, if you believe in it, if you have your why, and whether your why is, I believe in this product, or this is going to give me financial freedom that I need, own it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what anybody else has to say because they don't pay your bills.
Yeah.
That's always been my biggest thing because the MLM world gets a really, really shitty rap. And when I transitioned from the MLM, from Rodan and Fields to a Confident Broad, that was one of the things I wanted to make sure people knew, that I am not leaving Rodan and Fields because I had a bad experience or because the system doesn't work or because anything other than that wasn't where my passion was. I still use the stuff today. I still support the women today because it's amazing. The community that is built around these MLMs can be absolutely essential to people's lives.
Yeah.
You know, there are plenty of times where these women, you know, you send out these messages or you start these conversations and you get some nasty, negative, horrible responses. Yeah. And you have to learn to say, that's not about me. Okay, that email that person just sent, it may be addressed to me and it about me. That's about them and their view on, you know, whatever I'm doing. And their view doesn't matter because their view doesn't pay my bills. Right. Their view is not going to help me get that much closer to retirement or help my kid have, you know, I need to pay for my kid's dance lessons. Well, their opinion is not going to pay for my kid's dance lessons. Agreed. Or a vet bill or a vacation. Like, I think I love social media, but I also, you know, you hate social media because we are so exposed to other people's opinions that are just a lot of the times incredibly hateful.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you get that negative Nelly who gets on your post and like, this is a pyramid scheme and blah, 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 blah. You know what? Do your research because this shit is not a pyramid scheme. You want to look at a pyramid scheme, go look at any corporation because you have a top of the pyramid and that's called the CEO.
Yep.
You know, and so, you know, if you're in sales for a company, right, your sales commission, part of it goes to you, but part of it goes on the way up. That's the same thing as any of these MLMs.
Absolutely.
So, and the only difference is,
oh, you're probably just about to say the same thing, is you don't get to grow, you don't get to benefit and make bonuses from the people who come in after you when you're at a car dealership. And don't get me wrong, I love buying cars and I appreciate car salesmen. But when they are training the new guy, they don't get anything extra for it. They don't get a portion of their commission. They don't get any bonuses off of that. They get nothing.
Yeah, no, exactly. You've just trained someone who is going to be competing with you to
instead
sell
of
cars.
Working with you. Yeah.
Instead of let's build this business, because a lot of the, you know, I wanted to make sure everybody knew I am not leaving Rodan and Fields because of anything negative. And for, you know, it's always at the beginning of the year, you get a lot of people who join these companies, you get a lot of emails coming out. And my biggest thing was be kind. If you get 20 emails, you know, Facebook messages saying, hey, I have this new product. Would you like to know about it? All you have to do is say, no, thank you, instead of being a dick. It doesn't cost you anything to say, no, thank you, but good luck on your journey.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Granted, I have gotten some messages, you know, like, especially coming from like health and wellness background, you know, being a new business, like, hey, do you want to lose your extra baby weight? And I'm like, hey, asshole. Yeah, I do. But thanks for pointing it out. You know, like there's a way of going about it that's tactful.
Oh.
And then there's a way that's not. So it's kind of like, oh, yeah, thanks for reminding me that I need to.
Well, that was the thing with Rodan and Fields. Like, hey, you have bad skin. Can I help you? Like, you don't want to be that person.
No. Like, hey, you look old.
Yeah. Oh, see, I see those crow's feet are really taking root. Let me get you some eye cream. You don't want to say shit like that. You want, it's not like that. Like, I think one of the reasons the MLMs do get a bad name is because of the mass messaging. If you don't actually take the time to build those relationships, the people who take time to build the relationships are the ones who are driving the Lexuses, are the ones who are getting their money paid, are the ones who are making insane amount of money because they build the relationships. And that's all business is. Business is building relationships. And if you don't have that skill, you need to learn that skill.
Absolutely. I was listening to something the other day, and it from John Maxwell, and it talks about everybody has the ability to communicate more or less, but not everybody connects well. And that's the difference.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep, absolutely. It's that connection. And it has to be a genuine connection, because I think, especially in today's world, we see through the cynical, because a lot of us are way more cynical than we ever have been in the past. We see through the bullshit of, hey girl, hey emails. I hate hey girl, hey emails. But, you got to do it, right? But you need to be building these connections and actually truly caring about people. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's just going to fill your cup. That's the way I look at it. You just are filling your cup, or you are actually making somebody else's day, right? So what's wrong with that? Being a little nicer, that's all we really need.
Absolutely. And I've worked with a coach who basically said, of course it was after I paid her a small fortune. It was like, by the way, we're not going to be friends. We're not going to hang out, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to coach you, and that's it. And for me, it was like my personal mission. I'm like, oh no, girl, I'm going to make you my friend. You're going to like me. You know what I mean? And I think I got to where she likes me. She's not my coach anymore, but I think she liked me plenty, we had great conversations and we laughed, and she knew my kids' names and, all that kind of stuff. I knew her family's names, stuff like that. But it was no, and obviously I'm working with you, well, not with you, but with Jamie in the group with you. And with Jamie, it's you think about, basically, I know if I was in her town and I didn't call her and be like, hey girl, we're having coffee, she would probably drive to my house and kick my ass. You know what I mean? Because there is an actual connection. There's a connection. Yeah. There's a connection with all of us girls that are in the mastermind together. And that's so important. I mean, so important. Yeah.
And I think, we isolate ourselves a lot more. I know I'm a big one of, I hate going outside to shop or grocery shop. I do ClickList, I get Amazon delivered. And so we are slowly isolating ourselves more than we would have before. And I think these kind of groups and these kind of relationships, even though they may be fully online, it doesn't matter anymore. As long as it is true and legitimate and, a two-way street, I think this is just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I once heard from a friend of mine, her name is Nikki Schroeder, is, we're on social media, so you need to socialize. You need to be out there. It's not hey girl, buy my stuff. It's hey, I want to get to know you. You seem really interested in this, and this, and establishing that great connection. Oh, and by the way, what do you do? Oh, I'm this. I'm a confidence coach. I'm a business expert. Maybe you're a marketing person or whatever. And then they're like, oh my God, you're a marketing person? Where have you been my whole life? I totally need help marketing. But you've got all that connection prior to that.
Yep, exactly. I did not go looking for Jamie. I actually was getting pictures done for something else when another friend of ours, Jamie was using her as a photographer. She came in, and that's how we met. And then I'm like, and she's like, you need to be in part of Chardonnay and Slay. And then I got into that group, and I'm like, holy shit. And then, here I am 6 months, 8 months later with my new business. So it's all about the connections. It's all about the connections.
Yeah.
Genuine connections, I should say. It's all about genuine connections.
Absolutely. That's where I think the trust factor comes in. Not just, I think that term can be used kind of loosely from time to time. Like, oh, well, I've seen you on video, so there's automatically no like and trust factor. Well, no, not really.
Yeah, no, that takes time. That's not a guarantee. It takes time to build that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's just, for me, it does. Yes, absolutely. Because once you lose that trust, I may still like you, but if I don't trust you, I'm not going to do business with you.
Oh yeah.
So, you may be awesome, but sorry, if I don't trust you, it's one of those things. So yeah, you have to maintain those things. And I think that's just maintaining your integrity and being honest about who you are. And I think that comes also along with the confidence. So you can maintain that integrity because you are confident, because you know who you are.
Absolutely.
And I would never do something like that because that is against my character, because you understand your character.
Right.
And it's almost like you have to like rip yourself apart in order to do that shitty thing that is wrong. Right?
Yeah.
Because in your soul, you're better than this. Like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves with women who start selling themselves short or stop showing up, because I'm like, you are better than this. I know you are. You're pissing me off, especially in business. If they're like, oh, I have this coming, or I'm doing this, or this, and then it all falls through. And then 3 months later, oh, I'm doing this now. I'm doing this. Honey, you are better than this. Stop with the bullshit and just do your job.
Yep.
Because when you do your job, you're a rock star, and quit with the excuses.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I wanted to point out that I think is cool, and maybe this gave you that confidence of being a confident broad, and probably something that not a lot of people know, you're a freaking Olympic weightlifter. Like, hello.
Yes, I am an Olympic weightlifter. I started doing that about 3 years ago. You definitely have to have confidence if you're the size that I am, putting on a singlet and going out and performing these lifts in front of, I was in Vegas. It was live streamed. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So, I had a weight belt on. I looked like a stuffed can of biscuits, but I still went out there and I rocked it. Right. And it's it's a fun passion. It's insane, but it's definitely a lot of fun.
That's freaking awesome.
Something I just love. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not something like, I mean, obviously Olympic is a huge deal, first of all, but it's not like your run of the mill thing. Like, like I did.
Oh, right. But the Olympic part, everybody kind of gets, I'm not actually an Olympic level. It's just the Olympic lift.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh God, no. I am 39 years old. There is no way in hell. Like this girl who I would compete against with, who actually in my weight category won the bronze medal at the actual Olympics, and her combined lifts, her one opener for one of her lifts, there's 2 Olympic lifts. Her opener for one is my 2 lifts combined. So this for me, because I'm a master's level, anything over 35, you're considered a master's. For me, this is just an addiction at this point. I love it. I have an amazing coach at Bluegrass Barbell here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's been a lot of fun. This year, I think I'll be doing like 4 or 5 meets this year. I'll compete again at the American Open in Daytona. I was so close to actually qualifying for the Masters World in Spain this past year. Missed it just a bit. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Not Olympic level though. I'm not that good.
So you may not be on the Olympic team, but it sounds like you're doing some really, really amazing stuff with this sport. So
I do. I love it. For me, it's a great way to push your body. And I feel incredibly powerful doing it, because I'm like, I just lifted a Backstreet Boy over my head with no problem. It's awesome.
I love that, a Backstreet Boy. And I like the Backstreet Boys too. So
Absolutely. So yeah, that's fun. And competing, the best part about the Olympic lifting for me is I'm only competing against myself. So I'm only competing to get better than I was yesterday. And there's some really cool videos of the meets that I've competed in. And you see people who are in my age category, in my weight category, who are technically my, quote unquote competitors, who are cheering so incredibly loud for me to make a lift. And so the community that's built around this is what makes it so amazing.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So much fun.
Wow. I'm so glad we talked about that. That's so awesome. Like, I think it's so cool. I think I like lifting weights. I haven't done it in a long time, but I did do yoga today.
Oh, I love yoga. Well, I did CrossFit for a few years, powerlifting for a couple of years, and then got into Olympic lifting because of CrossFit. And I've had two fitness coaches. My first one, she did help me with CrossFit and lost a bunch of weight and did all that stuff. And then actually her husband is my current coach, and he is at Bluegrass Barbell in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, Ben Carter. It's just amazing.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a little bit more too. I mean, obviously, I think we could sit here and chit chat all day, but let's talk a little bit more about a confident broad. And, somebody who wants to work with you to build confidence and get started. I know you have a free gift, a 14-day free journal by going to your website. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, and then just a little bit about what it looks like to work with you?
Sure. So if you go to the website, confidentbroad.com, it'll ask you to subscribe to the email list. I do not spam people. I absolutely hate that. I do not even, I use my email list very sparingly because we all get way too many already. So when you do that, you will get a download for this 14-day prompt. So what it is I believe journaling helps your mental health, your physical health. Just to me, I have to get, we have so much going on in our lives that sometimes you just need to sit down and get it out. And I think some guided journaling a lot of times has helped me in the past. So I developed these 14 prompts. So you can do them every day. You can do them whenever you need to, that kind of help you ask questions about yourself to really start to discover some of those reasons. So with my clients, we go into a lot of the why they feel this way. And when do you remember the first time? And we talk about, fear. So we are having our first in-person event next Thursday, where I'm talking to a large group of women about how fear is a liar, but also how, I don't like ever to really use absolutes. So I don't believe that fear is always a liar, but I think fear needs to be examined. So is fear actually self-preservation, right? So walking in 6-inch stilettos on the side of the Grand Canyon, not such a smart idea. Or is it self-limitation of, I could never wear 6-inch stilettos because I'm already 5'10"? That's your limiting belief, right? That is a limiting factor. That is a fear that, I don't want to seem too big, or I don't want to take up too much space. Look, I am 5'10". I wear my high heels. Well, not as much anymore because I'm getting old, but I wear my high heels to the point that I'm almost 6'3", right? Okay, I could look like a drag queen, which if I had their makeup skills, I would love, but I'm a big chick, right? But I've always worn heels. I've never been one to kind of like make myself smaller. So it's like, how do we quantify these fears, right? Is it truly a fear that if I do this, I'm going to die? Or if I do this, I'm going to, have some huge repercussion that I don't want? Meaning, if you really like lose your job or seriously injure yourself or any of those kind of things? Or is it truly, you're just scared to do it because it makes you uncomfortable? So if it makes you uncomfortable and it's something that's stopping you from living the life you want to live, let's work through that, right? So if you're afraid of what someone's going to think, all right, so with my clients, we delve into, okay, who is that someone, right? Is it your mom? Is it your friend? Is it, your nosy neighbor? Who are you afraid of? Okay, so why are you afraid of that? And really talking it through. Are you afraid because of this? Or are you afraid because of that? So really getting to the point where if you uncover what is holding you back and the actual true reason, it's a lot easier to get past. So the examples that I use a lot was, I was 250 pounds, right? And I walked into a CrossFit gym. that was one of the scarier things I've ever done in my life, because here's all these people with 6-pack abs doing burpees and all of this other shit. And here I come wandering in, not seeing the inside of the gym in 10 years. But I knew I had to get past that fear, or else I would not be healthy, right? My knees would continue to hurt. I would not be a productive person anymore. So, you get past these fears. So we kind of go into that. So we talk each week, my clients and I, we have, however long it takes that day, usually 30 minutes to an hour. We kind of like recap. We kind of go through, how was your week? What are your wins? What things did you notice have changed? Where are your issues? So when we get into the issues, while we're talking, I start to kind of think of, I call it homework, but things for them to work on for the next week, or things for them to journal on. So every one of my new clients, they get their own journal that they get to keep, or that they keep to kind of track their journey. Because for me, I know a lot of times it's very therapeutic to look back and read those old journal entries and be like, yeah, that's why, or, oh my God, I can't believe I even thought that. Like I said, with my failures, I've been divorced. And when I got divorced, I've always kept journals. And I remember going back and reading these journals and thinking, oh my gosh, I thought the world was over when I was 12 and, James broke up with me. Well, here I am, 32, and then the other guy's broken up with me, but I survived it all. So, like kind of level setting yourself and almost laughing at it. So we keep those journals and we have them work on things. And a lot of the things that I have them do also, I'm a big believer in lists. I just love them. It's therapeutic for me to list out all the things I have to do. I list out all the things that I need to change. I'll list out all the things that I'm happy about. So a lot of the times I will have them do that. So I would like, I want you to think of one thing each day that you are grateful for. It doesn't even have to be big. It could be, I am grateful for Starbucks, or I am grateful for, the sunshine or the beautiful whatever. And, thinking of it from big to small. So you have that list, right? So sometimes when you have those shitty days, you're like, nothing is going right, end of the world. You go back and you look at that list, you go, you know what? I am really thankful for Starbucks because it warms my soul. You could think about those things, that when your brain is not logically thinking, right? Your brain is stuck in this, everything is wrong and this is a bad day, blah, blah, blah. You can't get out of it. It kind of helps you get out of it. So my main goal with all of my clients is to build a foundation, is what I call it, and help them stay out of the rabbit hole. So building a foundation is something that, for me, is absolutely key. So the way I tell them is, I will never tell you that life will not throw shit at you. I will never tell you that there's not going to be storms that you are going to come around. Life is not sunshine and rainbows. Life can be really shitty. But if you have this foundation of confidence and self-esteem and self-love and a community that you have built around yourself, your group, this foundation is built that you can withstand anything that comes at you. So I'm not saying I'm going to protect you from the storms. I'm going to teach you to survive the storms. I'm going to teach you to thrive during these downtimes. And also the rabbit hole is, I've always, a lot of times when one thing goes wrong, that's when it starts to spiral, right? So, I forgot my lunch at home. Okay, so that starts my day off bad. And then I hit traffic, and then I did this, and you go down this rabbit hole of just, negative emotion and negative feelings. What I help my clients do is recognize when they start going down that rabbit hole and how to climb back out, right? So if you go 10 feet deep down in this hole, it's really hard to climb out, right? But if you stumble just a little bit, it's a lot easier to come back out. So teaching them like the coping mechanisms of how to deal when their confidence, as they're building their confidence, there's going to be lots of things that come and try to knock it down. But how do we keep that confidence up? How do we keep that foundation solid? So teaching them about confidence, teaching them about, and a lot of it is reminding them, you have made it this far in life. That's not an easy feat. And you have thrived and you have succeeded and you have done all these things. It's not easy. right? Life can be very difficult, but life is also so wonderful. So it's like, how do we keep in that balance of realizing, yeah, sometimes shit's going to happen, but it's not all that bad. Or, dealing with relationships. I'm scared to do this because, well, why are you scared? Let's really think about what's the worst thing that can happen. We talked about, when an issue or a problem comes up, is it going to matter in 5 days? Is it going to matter in 5 months? Is it going to matter in 5 years? If it's not going to matter in 5 days, do we really have to spend all this time on it? If it's going to matter in 5 years, yeah, we probably need to spend some time thinking about it.
Right.
But it should not stop your life. Like, how do we put all these things together? So how do we get past fear? How do we get past worry about others' opinions, which is in fact a fear? But I think that one, a lot of people are so worried about other people's opinions of themselves that it stops their own life. Like, oh, I can't do that because so-and-so would think badly. Why does that matter? Why does Sally's opinion of you matter more than your opinion of you?
Right.
It doesn't.
No, I agree.
Right. And I think women have that issue where we are always trying to please people. We are always trying to be the best at things. We have all this pressure when really just accept that life could be a hot mess, own it, and thrive with it. Like, shit doesn't have to be perfect. Life doesn't have to be perfect. If life was perfect, it'd be boring. Like, that's the way I look. Like, when bad things happen, I have this attitude of it's an adventure. Like, when we go on vacation and something goes wrong, it's an adventure. We went on, we went to this very tiny island in the Bahamas where it's just golf carts, and someone took our golf cart and we were stranded. And we're like, well, it's an adventure. What are we going to do? We're in the Bahamas. I'm going to go find a rum drink. I'll be okay until the island's not that big. So it's those kind of things. Like, you just have to look at things as an adventure. Change that perspective. Change your perspective. Change your view, and that changes your reality.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I fully agree.
I love it. As you can tell, it gets me fired up.
Oh yeah. Well, and the whole thing, like, I mean, I've done my fair share of rants. Like, I could rant all day long about like MLM haters. And, like, obviously I get it. MLMs aren't for everybody, but not every job is for everybody. That's like saying, like, nobody should ever have a job. You know what I mean? Like, that's not either.
Exactly. And why do you think your opinion about somebody else's MLM is important? It's not.
And especially, most of these people have never even belonged to one.
Yeah, they just have this, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. Oh, it's Amway.
Yeah.
Oh, it's whatever. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited that we got to kind of just have our own little confidence party here today on the show. And
I love it.
I mean, really, that's basically what we did. We just got to have a party and a ton of laughs.
Yes.
So you guys, please make sure that you hop over to aconfidentbroad.com. Take advantage of that really cool 14-day freebie that she's got. Excuse me. And Diana, tell us where we can find you on social media.
Oh, great. Yes. So on Instagram, you can just find me at A Confident Broad. Pretty simple. And same thing on Facebook. I'm just A Confident Broad. That's all I am. So we have a lot of new and exciting things that are coming up in the next few weeks with us. A lot of new offers. We're actually having a subscription service that's going to come live in the next 2 weeks where you would go on the website, you can order this, and what it is you would get a confidence box, like a box full of confidence just for you every quarter. So in that, you sign up for the subscription, I send it to you. You get to open this wonderful box full of confidence building, full of just things to pamper yourself and things to love. I created and published my own 90-day journal that has all types of quotes, and it has prompts that go along with it. You get a brand new one. I create one every quarter, And
nice.
so those will be going live as well. Yeah, really exciting. So you can find me, just look up A Confident Broad, and you'll find me on all the platforms.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show and taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to all of us. And like I said, have a confidence party with us. It's been so much fun, and I can't wait for all of the listeners to hop onto this episode. So you guys be sure that you click subscribe, leave us a review, let us know how much you enjoyed being part of our confidence party today. And we will talk to you guys all next time.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it.